Cut the video. Start again.
No, no, we're going for it. We're going for it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our first new game of the spring split. I want to say, is it spring split? I don't know, or is it?
It is.
It is spring split. I don't know how they name it. It's different to LCS, but anyway, there is a heavy echo. Is there actually? Is there? Kieran, can you have a listen? Be our man on the inside. We are joined today. I'm joined by the wonderful Rick Rusty Sharp man. How you doing, Rusty?
You got about 2/3 of the way there. Just bailed. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And we've also got the cran nugget himself, Kieran.
That's me. Hello.
Who's going to give us some insider.
Insight is the word you're looking
insight, yes, insight into.
for. Come on, you got a podcast that uses the same name.
Yeah. Insight into the game. Right. So the first match we have is, as hopefully the Twitch stream is showing, is against, was it University of Leicester? Yes, University of Leicester. So Daddy's Angels versus Best UK Mid. Nice one, Ruben. Opening 3 tabs. No wonder there's an echo. Apparently that's what it was. Right, so we'll switch over to the game as Kieran pops open a cold one with the boys.
It feels good, man.
Let's
I'm
go.
gonna need it for these.
All right. Are we? Wait. We press P for play. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Is everyone ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. 3. Oh well. On go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Cool.
Cinematic. Here we go.
There we go.
So, talk us through picks and bans. How did you end up playing Nunu? What led to that?
So essentially, the Nunu pick is basically because of how strong Nunu is in the meta at the moment. We also didn't want the enemy team to get the Azir Nunu combo. It's a pretty. It's basically on par as Lulu Kog'Maw has been for the past couple of years. Obviously, Kog'Maw's been nerfed recently, so he's probably not as good anymore. But it's still probably a really easy lane for them to play. We hadn't actually tested out the Nunu before this point.
So this was kind of winging it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so why is Nunu strong at the moment? What about him makes him strong?
There was a buff, I think, in patch 8.2, 8.1, either one of those, and essentially gave Nunu an extra passive on his W, which was increase yourself and your target's AP by 40% up to a maximum, which is insane. Because if you can just press W on your mid laner at any point in the game, you're basically giving them a free item against a lane opponent or in a team fight or anything like that, which is kind of disgusting. Especially since you're playing a character that just runs around basically stealing jungle camps and gaining vision for everyone. You turn Nunu into a character that's less about controlling the jungle and more a support and control jungler.
I think, as you put it, making other junglers worse, not making
I believe
better.
The term is making the enemy jungler as useless as you are.
Yeah.
However, if you can make your mid laner more useful, that is
even better.
Kind of overpowered. Yeah.
Good lord.
Let's have a look. There's a little exchange in the mid lane, little exchange top lane as well, as Kled Fire Comet goes in on God Susie.
Yeah, new pick up there on the Daddy's Angel side. Fire Comet, fan of the Kled. Replaced Kieran actually in the top lane, as Kieran's did used to be the top laner, now moved into the jungle.
Kieran is a man of many talents and many champions. He claims to play 90% of champions. I think I've probably seen seen 80%
Whole
of them
lot of
played.
trading back and forth in the top lane. No one going for the unsealed spellbook to get the ignite early. And both junglers starting on the top side, so not going to be there to give him any backup.
We're seeing the first Drake
Gonna
appear.
get that remount. Suddenly, out of nowhere, has the health advantage.
It's an Infernal Drake up, so it'll be interesting to see how the
Actually, Zac
team
hops
support
over the
that
wall
ward.
as Nunu has just taken a Rift Scuttler, so he's going to get spotted out. Few pings going down there from Kieran.
Kieran keeping the team in check.
Behind enemy lines a little bit, but not much of a collapse available as the bottom lane of the Daddy's Angels is getting pushed into their tower a little bit. Varus does have the early laning advantage there. Looks like Zac's just going to elastic slingshot himself out of there. Did see Beely there on the Azir coming down for support, but wasn't really needed. Only 2 stopwatches in this game.
That's
A very low amount for a dispatch. We usually see about 6 or 7.
Yeah,
So-
last game I casted with Gaffer was about, I think there's 8 stopwatches in the game, I think.
Another little trade in the top lane. Fire Comet almost going under the tower, but lands the press the attack proc and does a good chunk of damage, but both top laners dangerously low. Is playing the Kled though, so he can get that health back, and the heal forced down in the mid lane as Beely dashes forwards with those soldiers, forces Swifty back. Not gonna have the kill pressure and not gonna force out the flash, but a flash forward from the Rakan engaging the bottom lane. Zac is there for backup, flashed away from by Snowblind on his trademark Xayah as the exhaust goes down onto Varus. That's gonna be the disengage there. Everyone getting out, keeping themselves alive. Both Zac and Nami taken down very low, but here comes Kieran, the big boy in the top lane on the Nunu. Gonna get the tower aggro reset there on the dismount from Kled. That's an easy first blood picked up there for the Daddy's Angels. So Kieran,
That's
a
me.
tasty gank.
Yeah, it's really easy to abuse Kled's remounting passive when you are tower diving, because as long as Kled starts the dive, you can always swap aggro extremely easily. It's almost just like dropping a Zhonya's, except it's like half of a second, if that.
Even when he started off as low health as he did, but Zac showed himself in the bottom lane, tried to get the gank there, so he knew it'd be safe. Pick up the first blood. That's Fire Comet. Getting off to a good start in this lane.
Yeah.
Even against the Kleptomancy of Gangplank, that's going to be donating free gold for most of the game. Got himself a 400 gold lead up there.
And Kieran, with the change to Fire Comet and the difference in champions he plays, how has that changed how the team plays as a unit? Do you put a bit more pressure topside than you used to when you were top
You
laner?
can, on the subject
yeah.
of pressure topside, here comes Kieran again. Fire Comet has the ult unlocked.
Stopwatch.
That's going to be the stopwatch. Going to deny the engage on that, but Zac and Azir are showing up. He comes in with the slingshot and lands it onto Mr. Kieran. And Azir's going to show up as well. Got those soldiers, but not quite able to find the damage. Gets him with the auto attacks. That one is going to be turned around a little bit. So just as you're talking about focusing pressure on the top side, Kieran comes in. They go for it. Baited out by half of the stopwatches in the game. It gets turned around. That can't have been a good feeling.
No, it wasn't.
Swifty was pushed in under his tower, so he wasn't able to roam up to be there quite as early as the Azir was, but was there for the disengage of the back. But it looks like the bot lane is sort of taking a bit of a turn here, as Snowblind and Yumi are going to be pushing in Trick Source and Ro, and Fire Comet again going aggressive in the top lane, just charging forward every chance he gets. Gonna be the cannon barrage dropped, but the remount comes in, he gets all the health back, and he's gonna get the solo kill up in the top lane. Almost seems to have baited out the Gangplank there. Getting down incredibly low, but
Zac
well, that's
lining
where
up for a
Kled
gank.
shines, baby. Easily just wandered away from there by Swifty as he comes forward with the paddle star. Takes a big chunk out of Zac, not quite at the level of one-shotting him just yet. Got another sort of 7 minutes before that comes into effect.
That's where that Nunu W would come in handy.
Actually gonna dash forward to pick up an exhaust and finds a trouble bubble onto Azir, and that's half of his health gone. Zoe's an interactive champion.
Fun interactive gameplay.
Despite the kill lead picked up and the pressure in the top lane, a 300 gold lead here for the side of Best Mid UK, or Best UK Mid, sorry, the University of Leicester side. It's going to come down to about a 500 gold lead on the Azir, picking up the kill in the top side. Has a little bit of a minion kill lead, as does Trick Source in the bottom lane. As we mentioned before, Varus very strong in the laning phase, as we see a bit of an attempt of an engage there from Azir, but going to be flashed away from. Swifty on Zoe, and a nice knock up there from the Zac from downtown. Actually predicting the flash there from the Nami. He's going to pick that one up. Drops the ultimate to bring Snowblind away from the tower. That's going to be 2 kills, but the teleport comes down from the Kled in the top lane.
The
so many low health bars and the absolute 0 as well. Varus is going to be attempting to fight back, but Kieran just standing around, letting him kill you. Trying to hand the kill over there to Zoe, I believe.
But Nunu ended up getting it anyway.
It's not going to be you picking it up, as the Balmy Cinder's going to kill him with the damage.
The E missed.
So we're actually going to get Shurima shuffled back under the tower. The tower is doing damage, not enough to take him out, as Fire Comet comes in, misses the bear trap on a rope, and that's going to be the dismount and disengage.
And that'll be the Infernal Drake for the University of Salford's side, which is really good early on. I mean, that ability power bonus plus the Nunu W, it's just, it leans right into what the composition wants. And you're saying about the
on top of stacks.
Yeah, you're saying about the Zoe one-shotting people. Every single bit of AP helps.
That was a
but
bit of a dodgy stopwatch there, but gonna work out, as 3/5 of the team show up to back up Swifty on the back of that one.
Swifty wipes his brow just then, like, whew, thank God Josh was there. Saved the day, and Nunu showing his face. So Kieran, when like for other junglers who might want to play Nunu for some ungodly reason, Nunu counter jungles a lot, from my understanding. When is the appropriate time to counter jungle? Like, how should the lanes be pushed? When should you be looking at doing that?
Essentially, the best time for you to invade on, I think, on any character at any time is when you know where the enemy jungler is. If you do not know where he is, you can always go and put some dangerous wards in. It isn't safe, but if you're playing a more tanky champion, you're more likely to escape with your life. Also, depending on whether or not you've just seen the other laners back, you can probably almost always escape a.
that was pretty funny. Tried to slam you into the Blasco and just like ganks you into the wall, as about half health going to be taken off Gangplank from another charge forward from Fire Comet. Look, there he is. There's the Nunu invading just in the face of Zac, just going to consume and smite that thing down. Get all your health back, but no blast cone there. Gonna have to flash away as Azir shows up. Was that the appropriate time, Kieran? Would you call that the appropriate time to counter jungle?
I think it wasn't an appropriate time to counter jungle, but I think it was a really good time to get some aggressive wards into your opponent's jungle to check where they are. It also forced the enemy top laner and mid laner to react to the jungle invade. Which
wonderful display of getting those aggressive wards, as you have 4 wards in the river around Rift Herald and none further than that. Top notch right there. As the Sleepy Trouble bubble from about the Dragon Pit gonna get into the bottom lane, as we suddenly get teleported to the top side to watch another tower dive there from the Kled. And it looks like none of those is going to end up in a kill. As Zac gonna use that elastic slingshot, but gets sent to sleep from Zoe. Azir shows up, and that's going to be call for the disengage. Now this is a more appropriate time to counter jungle, as Kieran wanders straight past the blue buff to go for another tower dive.
Straight in.
Onto Gangplank, he flashes away, but with the blood boil it's not going to matter. Oh, but then again he drops the orange, absolutely 0, just for a little bit of slow. And Fire Comet just going to run him down. Gets the first Phage proc, there's no getting away.
That is a terrifying Kled, 4-0. And with a 16 CS lead as well.
There we go. A
That's
much
gonna
better
be a
time
big problem.
to counter jungle. There you go.
Yeah.
Free blue buff as well, picked up off the back of that one. Could look for the Rift Herald as well, but Zoe gonna get caught out a little bit in the mid lane. Actually goes for the blast cone, but auto attacks Zac first. Manages to get it to get out. Didn't have any summoner spells available at that point as well, so got a little lucky there. But it looks like there's 4 people in the bottom side.
Looks like Nami's going to be taken down as Xayah pops her ultimate, and then we switch to a fight in the top lane. It's trying to juggle aggro, trying to take down the gangplank. Misses the Q, but the Nunu point and click lands, securing that kill. Kled takes it down, and top tower is also down. No casualties apart from Yayami on that Nami. Being a bit bullied today by the Zac, I think. Been a lot of pressure bot lane. Which is often how the team used to play, with sort of bot central style, but we'll see them push into the turret, trying to get some damage on that. We'll have a look. Going down very fast, which means they'll be able to take tower for tower from that trade, which equals the gold up quite a lot. But we see Zac engage onto the Xayah, but Anthony is there with the Nami. Ultimate is popped, throws Josh over the wall. He gets taken down by the Zac. That's not what you want. That's not a... We're seeing a huge amount of pressure. There's 4 people bot, and it feels like they've been four-manning bot the entire game, while Nunu's been stuck top the entire game, Snowball and Kled. Was that a conscious decision going into the game, Kieran?
Yeah, going into the game, we definitely decided it was a conscious decision to focus a lot of pressure into the top lane. By picking Kled or any other bruiser top lane to get them ahead would free up a lot of pressure all across the map. As you can see, we do have a huge lead in top lane and a free tower. We managed to pick up Herald from that as well, which in turn will eventually trickle down the gold to the other team members.
So even with the gank spot lane and the CS difference, were you guys worried at all at this point with the amount of pressure and kills they were getting bot, or was this still?
We were definitely very worried about potential scaling on Varus compared to Xayah. But if we can extend the game for long enough, or just get enough gold from capping objectives, then it means little if we can scale as quickly as they can.
Looks like Kled's found himself a new target in the top lane. This one's a little easier to pick up the kill, as Varus is not going to last long. No oranges there to get himself out of the bear trap. It's going to be the 6th kill of the game for Fire Comet, as the rest of the team starts to focus on the Ocean Drake in the bottom lane. Absolute Zero going to come down. Xayah will be forced to use the Blade Caller there as Fire Comet teleports down and drops a close range charge. He's going to go godlike off the back of that one and picks himself up a double kill as Azir gets hit by a Nami bubble. Taken down for the triple kill. Spicy engage, as here comes the Rift Herald, going to be dropped in the bottom lane, looking to take that turret down. Not the best game for Snowblind on this one, 1-3-3 at this point, but Slack being picked up by Fire Comet in the top lane.
9-1.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a change for Josh to not be the 1v9 carry on this team.
The star player.
No offense, Kieran.
Kieran, did it bruise his ego at all? Just a little bit, a smidge.
Nah, I've got a big enough ego as it is.
What about Josh not being god blind? Like he usually
we're
is.
focusing a lot less attention on bot lane. We may have more games like this, but considering we went 3-0 in the first week,
there we go. A single 3-spell rotation from Zoe, gonna take the tanky Zac down to about 2/3 health. The game gonna slow down just a little bit at this point. No major objectives up to fight over. Most of the outer turrets taken down by the side of the daddies. Only the bottom lane one still remaining. No dragon available. Rift Herald already gone. Next dragon will be an Infernal.
Nunu getting those deep wards onto the blue buff. It looks tasty. He's going in. Let's see if he can get anything happen.
Before the Azir gets rid of that. Rakan's there for backup as well, so it's just going to be backed up, disengaged.
We're still seeing very good ward control, especially by the University of Leicester side with those control wards and those deep wards. If you look at the top of the map, they're trying to get that deep information, but they've been pushed in quite back. That control ward is a bit useless at this point. It doesn't need to be that far up. Whoever placed that needs to buy another one and place it slightly further back, just to be able to start clearing out the wards that are already in their jungle. They know there's wards in their jungle. They just saw Nunu run up, so I'd like to see an adaptation from whoever's control ward that is, and some of the deep ones in River. Try and clear out their own jungle so it's safe, so they're not going to walk around and Kled's going to come from nowhere and like completely insta-gib them, or the Nunu running up and slowing them to
The one
death.
control ward that they have on the red side, red buff, really not giving them that much use, as the red side is generally just in the top lane, solo tower diving gangplank again, and he's going to pick up that kill, his 10th one of the game. You have a little bit of a back and forth in the bottom lane, as Snowblind will get caught out by the Chains of Corruption there, but Nami's there for the backup, drops the heal. Zac with the elastic slingshot a little too late on the back of that one, gonna get rooted up, maybe get taken down eventually, but uses that ultimate to get himself out of there. That's gonna be traded out for the top lane turret there, that's picked up by Fire Comet again. It's a really dominant performance in the top lane for him. Gonna get hit with the Shurima shuffle as Rakan's there for the backup as well, but will he get the remount in time? It was close. You heard the sound, the animation started, but wasn't able to finish it off to get that bonus health back, and he will get taken down. As Kieran just ignoring the entire enemy team to finish off that second turret in the mid lane.
The University of Salford side need to be, although they got the goal lead, they need to be a bit careful here, just because they do have two members no longer alive. Snowblind goes in.
A little bit of a strange choice to go for that fight, but Zoe's there on the back side of that one. Gonna have the trouble bubble blocked there by a minion, and actually gets caught out by Zac. Gonna get slapped together a little bit. Nice dodge on the Varus Q, but can't dodge the auto attacks. And she will get taken down on the back of that one. As a turret is taken down, I believe in the mid lane there. So a little bit of a turnaround there for the Leicester side. All starting off the back of Josh on Xayah going a little bit over aggressive, going for a 1v1 on the Varus, who not too long ago he had a little 1v1 against and was getting beat down a little bit until his team showed up for support. So bit of a questionable decision to go for that one, as Rakan gets there first.
It might have been that his team was quite close, so he thought they could get there fast enough to turn the team around.
Did have Zoe and Nami around, but weren't able to land the abilities they needed to get the turnaround on that one. And that's going to give a little bit of control of their own blue side jungle there back to the Leicester side. If only for a short time.
And we are seeing these control wards move out. That one in red is still there. It hasn't moved. I mean, it's slightly more useful now that they've cleared it out, but leaving those control wards there is a bit of a
particularly when the dragon's going to be spawning up
and
in about
Baron.
5 seconds, could really use it to get rid of some vision from the Daddy's Angel side on the back of that one, but not going to go for it, as Fire Comet actually just going to be not even teleporting, just pushing solo in the top lane, going for that inhibitor. Could use a pink ward to clear out some potential teleport spots, like the one right in the center of the Dragon Pit there, but Shurima Shuffle not going to find anything except from delivering Nunu in for an absolute 0 that's going to rip apart the team. That's going to be 3 kills picked up there by the Daddies. Zac, pretty tanky, not tanky enough to survive 4 people. They were able to pick up the Infernal Drake on the back of that for the Leicester side, so denying the double Infernal from the daddies.
These are small consolation prizes. Using the ult to sprint to top lane to catch that wave and push it in.
Really just like split pushing, huh? He just using all of his cooldowns to get back there. Kieran actually swapping out the flash for a teleport using that unsealed spellbook.
Teleport, smite, Nunu.
The Master Yi special go very fast.
Did you, at the end of the game, use your unsealed spellbook to change it to Disco Nunu, by any chance?
I didn't have enough unsealed spellbook stacks left for that.
That's a shame, but we're seeing Swifty start to get poked by the Gangplank. Fire Comet is trying to grappling hook him back,
Nice
but the
catch there by the
bubble
Rakan,
goes
but
on.
an even nicer turnaround from Nami, landing a bubble across 2 people.
Oh.
Elastic Slingshot gonna land on 3 on the back of that one though. Varus comes in from the side, he's untouched in this fight, and he's shredding through the daddies there. Looks like Fire Comet's gonna be the last one standing. Will he be able to get the remount? Not able to, as he gets shut down there by the Varus. That's gonna be a 5 for 3.
Trying to 2-man this Baron.
Yeah, the 2-man of the Varus and the Zac gonna go for the Baron. Zac not gotten very much armor or magic resist in his build, so he's gonna get taken down quite low. But only down to about 2,000 health left on the Baron, so it looks like they will be able to pick this one up.
It felt like in that fight that there was a lot of focus on other champions, and the Varus was just there, just shredding at the champions,
Varus
and shredding
showed up
through
a
the
little
team.
late, so he came through the blue buff and just was able to stand off the side and just free hit while everyone was taking down the Azir. It was enough to turn this game around a little bit. They're now within about 2,500 gold.
So Kieran, at this point, when you've just lost a team fight like that, kind of unexpectedly, and you've lost Baron off the back, what's the call? Like, how do you settle down the team, and more importantly, what do you do while that Baron buffs up?
Well, most of the time, as soon as the enemy team gets a Baron buff, it's kind of a time to just start slowing down, get your wards into the enemy jungle, try and like get the vision control, and essentially wave play for the coming siege that your opponents are more than likely going to make. Because if they don't use the siege to obviously get some towers for free or anything like that with the Baron buff, they're kind of wasting it.
Another Elastic Slingshot gonna go in. He's gonna find the Zoe as she uses that portal jump to try and get out, but just delivers herself straight back into the Zac ult. Gonna get picked off by Rakan on the back of that one. It's another little pick that might have just come from getting a little too aggressive, trying to play some of those wards, while a bit of the control has gone over there to the Leicester side. After the back of that Baron pickup, another engage from Zac. That's Kieran getting taken down. Fire Comet gonna draw 2 people in on the top lane. Kind of struggling to get onto a target there though. Rakan gonna be making it difficult for him to stick, but actually seems to be getting the better in the 2v1. That one there. Does get dismounted though, but dodges out of the re-engage from Rakan, but Zac shows up for the backup. Is gonna get the remount on, so might just be looking to try and get out of there. Cannon Barrage comes through, looks like they're gonna just be trying to chase him down. Dodges out of another Elastic Slingshot. Trying to finish off the kill on Rakan. Not able to quite reach. Oh god, this is gross. Where's the rest of the team, everybody? What's everyone else doing?
What's happening?
Varus recalling in the Baron pit. He gets dismounted again. And this will be him eventually going down to the Gangplank. He took a lot of killing. That was... Ooh boy. As Kieran on the Nunu clearing another ward gets caught out
Shurima
again
shuffle
by the Azir. And shredded down quickly enough by Varus. And that is going to be Leicester with a gold lead for the first time in a good while.
First time.
They did have one fairly early on in the game,
Yeah.
thanks to just minion kill advantages, but after the first few fights that went the way of Daddies, they've been in deficit for most of this game, but now they're looking to be the ones to push in, maybe take back the inhibitor in the mid lane, try and even things up in that sense. Zac goes for a really ambitious engage and gets hit by a trouble bubble for his troubles. Only loses about a quarter of his health to that combo though.
Only a quarter.
Only a quarter on the tank. Gangplank might be able to take the first outer turret in top lane. And that one will go down.
And Baron buff's worn down by this point, so
Next objective to fight over, there's a Mountain Drake in 20 seconds. And the blue side inhibitor going to be respawning about 10 seconds after that. So whether we'll see a bit of a fight going on around that, have Fire Comet go back to his old special of just pushing out the top lane, trying to take that inhibitor. If he's successful, could even get the mid lane one as well. If there is a bit of an overcommit for the dragon here. But a long range engage from Zac. Gonna find one half of the Q onto Xayah, but nothing more gonna come from it. There it is, Fire Comet in the top lane, has teleport available. Gonna use it early here actually, as the elastic slingshot from Zat is gonna go in. Actually finds Xayah on the back with the ultimate as the Rakan lands the knock up onto two people. That's pretty much everyone there on the side of the daddies picked up on the back of that one. Fire Comet and Snowblind on Xayah, the only ones up. She actually manages to finish off the kill on Zac there. As Fire Comet trying to chase down, and it's a bit of a repeat, a 2v1 against Rakan and Gangplank, but actually comes out a 4 for 4 on the end of that one.
And both top laners survive at the end of that fight. It looked like at one point it could go. It looked very bad for the Daddy's Angels at one point.
That was really scrappy, yeah. As soon as Snowblind on Xayah got caught out by the Zackle and delivered back into the middle of the team, I thought that was probably the fight over, but he actually manages to get himself out of that and finish off the 1v1 kill on the Zac as well. And Fire Comet is going to be sort of ignoring the Gangplank as he takes down that mid inhibitor again. Might get taken down and demounted, which he will do, and that's going to be dangerous because he loses a lot of move speed. Varus comes back up, but actually really quickly bounced back up again, and he's going to look for a kill on the Varus there and find it.
It's constant. Fire Comet seems to be able to constantly... He got that kill, and the enemy team were chasing to try and catch up to him. And he was still killing canyon minions. He's constantly pushing these waves out. Whatever lane he's in, it will be pushing in his favor.
And off the back of the whole engagement that went down around Dragon, neither team picked it up. So as soon as we get back and hit the respawn timers, we're going to be straight back there. Zac goes for a steal. Ooh. Not going to get it against the Nunu, who actually walks into the ult and delivers himself over. Gets about a third of a second of a proc on the absolute zero, but Fire Comet shows up with the charge, but Nunu's going to be the one to get taken down. Lands the bear trap on a rope there onto Azir, but not quite enough to pull him back in, but the Blade Caller from Xayah will do it. And that's going to be Fire Comet picking himself up the kill on the Zac on the back of that one. Two men left standing on the Leicester side. That's going to be Gangplank and Trixos on the Varus. So some wave clear available, but two very squishy members. Chains of Corruption lands onto the Xayah, but not going to be enough to take him down before he himself is taken down by Fire Comet on the Kled. 16-3 on this game as he's just tanking up the towers. So he lands a Pedal Star and Gangplank off the back of that one, and he's going to get run down by the Kled. Does get taken down as he gets just onto his fountain there. That will be the ace.
And that will be the game as well. TP coming out from the Nunu to be at the Nexus as it is taken.
At the very end of the game,
I never
Fire
thought...
Comet uses a stopwatch.
And I'd never thought I'd say Nunu uses a teleport for a jungle Nunu at the end of the game. And all my time playing League, I never thought a jungle Nunu would be using teleport, but who knows?
I wouldn't be that surprised.
Strange times well, a non-trolling Nunu. Sorry, I should have phrased that better.
We're in it for the future.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Kieran's playing the champion, and you think he isn't trolling? Really?
Kieran never trolls. What are you saying?
Absolutely never.
Kieran.
Everything I do is 100% serious.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can just go ahead and comment on the fact that Fire Comet ended that game with a 6,000 gold lead over the Gangplank in the top lane, 18,000 to 12,000. The rest of the team actually fairly similar across the board. There was a gold lead for best UK mid on the UK mid laner. It was about 3,500 gold up over Swifty, mostly just coming from minion kills, but did pick himself up some nice kills in some of the team fights, particularly the scrappier ones around objectives as well. Good performance from Trixos on the Varus, but just not enough to deal with the monster in the top lane, which was the Kled. Like you said, Kieran, focusing a lot on the top side seems to have paid off. This guy seems like a half decent pickup for your team.
You
I'd
what?
call it half decent, but like we went into that game with a 100% mindset on our win condition is going to be top lane this game. We'll focus all of our attention onto it and hope that as long as we farm out in bot lane and get enough gold, we could probably just finish the game. Relatively similarly to that.
Definitely different to what we've seen from the Daddy's Angels team in the past. When you were playing in the top lane, you were much more of a fan of tanks in the top lane, particularly one that starts with O and ends with RNN.
Oh,
The,
yeah.
the big
Ariana.
play no, playing the Ornn even last season when everyone thought he was garbage and actually making it work. So having a hard carry in the top lane, a nice change of pace. But okay, the one question that stands out in my mind now that you have someone in the top lane in Fire Comet who's looking to be hard carrying some games, does that mean that Anthony will finally stop building an Ardent Sensor?
Absolutely not.
Please. Please.
Ardent Sensor every single game.
I want Josh to just play Ashe every game and have like brand support in the bottom lane. I want it to be about Anthony. I think he's unsung. He's the underdog. He needs his time to shine.
Anthony is the hero of our team.
I think I'll start a petition. I'll have it ready. So when it gets to the King of the North qualifiers, which we should mention are this weekend, I want to see it. I want to see some aggressive. I want to see a Blitzcrank.
You want to see a Blitzcrank? I'll take it into consideration.
A Blitzcrank jungle. Show it to me.
I'll show you something special.
Ooh, baby.
Kieran. Well, sorry, to jump in, but I wanted to ask a question. So, your team was very good at team fighting, very good at late game team fighting. But a lot of those comps in your team fights, you were playing a hyper tank like Cho'Gath or Ornn.
Yep.
With having a sort of a bruiser, sort of carry top laner, I get the sense that maybe the team isn't used to sort of playing in that dynamics. They might go a bit more forward because they're used to having that frontline tank. How, like, is that just something which is going to come with time, or is that like a communication thing which needs to be talked about more? Like, how are you guys going to adapt so you don't have those risky team fights, you know, where it can go 50-50?
I think the big problem was in that game, the enemy team first of all were like rather tremendous. They were really good players. Every single one.
Rather tremendous. I've never heard him say
tremendous.
never heard him say tremendous.
They were quite good, every single one of them.
This is Kieran with his little professional suit, his little bow tie.
Oh yeah.
Tremendous.
Tremendous. But yeah, anyway, they were all very good players, and it was so far it's difficult to gain the experience. It is very much due to experience. We will learn it in due time, but there aren't very many teams with that level of play style around. So getting the experience against playing against teams like that doesn't come very often.
Okay.
So hopefully we learn it relatively quickly in time for coming up against another team of that tier.
Yeah, it was punished a little bit here and there in this game in some of the more scrappy team fights. Particularly the Azir managing to pick himself up some kills, and Varus getting a couple chances to get some free hits on the back of that one, but eventually going to fall down to the split pushing of Fire Comet on the Kled, the remounting, the dismounts, the turnarounds. He had it all. He had a good performance there. And hopefully we can see some of those repeated.
Speaking of good performances, your fantastic casters will be back in a couple of minutes. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to load into game 2. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. I'll stick a bit of music on. Just, you know, chill out, have fun, be kind, peace, love, and all that. and we'll see you very shortly. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for round 2. I've got that right. It is round 2, isn't it? It's the second game. And it will be University of Salford's Daddy's Angels, our flagship team. You are the flagship team at the moment.
Yeah, who even cares about the USSR team?
Yeah, University of Salford. Salford rejects. We had a fantastic first game. Some both teams very, very good. We saw some brilliant fights. some very, very close fights, and Salford just, the experience, the team play, just even though it is shaky in places, just seemed to be able to overcome.
By experience and team play, you mean the Kled in the top lane, Fire Comet just dominating for the
Yeah,
entire game,
while the rest,
solo tower diving,
while the rest
while
of
the rest of the team just struggled in little 4v4 fights.
but they
Or
struggled
4v2
and they
fights.
struggled well. That's what counts. All right. If
They did adequately.
They
Let's
did.
give them that.
Whoa,
No
whoa,
offense, Kieran.
whoa.
Sorry,
Taskmaster.
Kieran, but I'm not
Rusty.
spectating Morgan play PUBG right now, so I have to find somebody else to flame.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
since you're here, you'll have to do.
I think adequately to win is still winning.
That's true. So we're setting up for the next game. That's going to be against Sheh FF at 15. That's going to be the University of Sheffield side. We are using replays here, so we don't get much of a look into pick and bans, but we see a few things changed up. In fact, the entire lineup changed up here for the Salford side. We have a Vladimir in the top lane for Fire Comet. We have Krandgd, our resident insightful analyst here. He's going to be picking up the Jarvan. Not going to be taking the Nunu from game one. We have Swifty on Karthus, not on the Zoe. Snowblind, after losing a few little 1v1s to the Varus, going to be picking it up himself, and Anthony letting everyone down with a Soraka in the bottom lane. On the opposite side, a very, very tanky looking lineup. We have Sion in the top lane, Sejuani jungle, Galio in the mid lane there for Nymera, a bit of a Game of Thrones reference name, almost. We have a Jinx in the bottom lane. She's going to be matched up there with a Braum. So very, very tanky lineup. Not too much damage going to be coming through early on in the game until Jinx gets a chance to scale it up. So could potentially be looking at an early game push in win condition here for the Daddy's Angel side, which, going back into looking at the tournament games that we've seen before from the Manchester Invitationals, was never really their strong point. They did prefer to go for these scaling late game kind of team comps, but maybe with Fire coming in the top lane, his performance going to shake things up a little bit and light a fire under the arses of the Salford side, get them making some proactive plays again in the early game.
Just to check, it's the Varus Soraka versus the Jinx Braum bot lane.
It is indeed.
All right, good. I've got
Kieran,
the right.
you all good? You got it set up?
I've got the right game.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Then I guess we shall
All
start.
on 0 seconds.
Yep. I want 0. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. Kind of interesting, Snowblind picking up the Varus after getting a bit bullied by it in that first game. Although the team fighting, although very scrappy, was still the kill onto Zac, somehow getting away from being thrown straight into the team. We'll see if that sort of almost lack of cohesion with his team is still there.
Not going to have the invulnerability available that he had with his Zyra ult, but here we go. Kieran going to walk face first into a Sion and Sejuani and take
Kieran doesn't care.
Bashes across the back of his chaps on that one.
Kieran would walk into the enemy base's turrets and not even blink. It wouldn't be a good. It wouldn't be a good start to the game.
So, comparing the level 1s to the last game, there was a lot more vision drop down in the river, kind of passively last game. This time, people are just going to be covering jungle entrances. Top and jungle there, going to be linking up from the Sheffield side. Going to get some vision down on the Daddy's Angels blue buff. So they're going to know. Mr. Kieran going to be starting off on the red buff side. Not going to be mirrored by a bot side start there from the Sheffield side. That's going to be Sion Sedge taking the red buff at level 1. So could see a potential mismatch in the top lane, level 2 and 3. And maybe might see an early gank in the bottom lane for Sejuani, or maybe come from the bot side of mid to try and get a bit of a punish onto the early game Karthus. But actually going to be the Braum and Jinx sat in the bush. Going to be the stun coming down. Early flash from Snowblind going to be taken out on that one there, but not going to have enough quite to take down the kill. little bit of damage traded back and forth on the way back out, but nothing too much going to come from that. And that's going to force both teams to lose about half a wave of experience, but Anthony taking the Q first on Soraka, so the sustain just isn't there, so it's becoming a little dangerous to stay in this lane now. But it looks like they're going to suffer through it, try and get that level 2 so they can start throwing down some heals. Top lane Fire Comet taking a nice chunk out of Scion there with the empowered transfusion. No real early game aggression coming out of either jungler just yet. Javan going for a bit of the earlier clear, but he didn't take his Raptors, as Sejuani did take hers. So he's working on the Grump as she goes to take out her blue buff now. So might look for a bit of an earlier gank timing. Is a ward there dropped for the Scion in the Tribrush on the top. So he's just going to go and pick up the Rift Scuttler. That's going to be mirrored by Sejuani in the bottom side.
There we go. Sorry, was updating the stream. I had the previous teams on, so now Chef FF at 15 is now their name is displayed. That is Sheffield UoS, not Salford versus Salford. It's Salford versus Sheffield, but that would be a very long.
Sejuani
Twitch
does
title.
go for an early gank in the bottom lane. No flash on Varus as he was forced to use that at level 1. That's first blood picked up. Nice pathing there to get around the vision.
Very clever
Nice
by
pick up.
very clever by Snowblind to hold his sums there.
Doesn't use the barrier that he's taken in this one. Actually, that's a pretty last season as he's got the barrier. Soraka having the heal on the back of that one, but neither of them used to get out of that one alive. That's going to be the first blood gold. Goes over to Sejuani, not onto the Jinx, so not the worst outcome that could have happened there. He goes back and picks up a Cull, so not looking for any ridiculous early game fights on the back of this one, just looking to farm up and get himself a little more stable in this lane.
So while there seems a bit of a lull and Jinx and Braum go back to the bot lane, Kieran, why the change in comp? Because you managed to win with the Nunu and the Zoe. Why have you switched around with the Karthus, J4, Vladimir in the top lane? Very different. It feels like a very different comp than what you did before.
Well, because we didn't go through the pick and ban phase, it's kind of important to note that several of the champions that we picked in the last game from this were banned.
I would assume as much, yeah.
And also, due to having to change a few of the champions, we had to change the entire comp. And the Vlad top is a really good pick at the moment. It accentuates damage all across the board, and we didn't want to be forcing Fire Comet into essentially a Kled pickup or something similar.
Oh, another little cheeky gank from Sejuani over the control ward. Gonna get a bush with no vision in and just lands another charge onto Snowblind. Still does not have flash available. So, really good work there from the Sheffield side to get that summoner spell out early at level 1 and punishing it as hard as they possibly can. Picked up a Cull after his first death. Only got 9 stacks on it before he gets sent back to the base, packing his bags a second time.
Sorry, Kieran, you're rudely interrupted by Josh dying.
Yeah, I know. what a shame. Yeah, so we essentially picked up the Vlad due to the amount of pressure that he can apply in a lane. And that's quite important considering if the Scion ever decides he wants to TP somewhere, he just gets immediately stopped and they lose a massive amount of minions and that sort of thing.
The one thing that does have me a little teensy bit concerned with the draft you've got here is the double AP. You've got the Vladimir and the Karthus in the solo lanes respectively, but then you've got the Varus, who most likely going for the Rage Blade build. Does do a lot of max health magic damage, so not too much physical threat outside of the Jarvan, but with it being you, I'm gonna presume that you're going more for a tanky build for that one.
Yep.
as you picked up the Bami Cinder, not the Warrior enchant. So going up against a team of essentially 3.5, 4 tanks, depending on whether you'd count the Braum as a full tank or not. Going for that heavy into just one style of damage might be a little risky, so we'll have to see how that plays out in some of these fights. It looks like Galio likely going to be building into the Abyssal Mask as his first item, unless he goes for Rod of Ages, which, if he does, I would probably disagree with that choice. Scion already picked himself up a Spectre's Cowl, just to help him survive in that lane a little bit against Vladimir. It seems to be working out as he's got himself pretty even on the minion kills after getting a deficit in the early game. Sejuani hanging out on the backside of Karthus's mid tower. Karthus no mana left at all, really, as might see a flash taunt there from Galio. We will do. Sejuani comes in and finishes off that kill, but Galio actually going to get taken down by the turret off the back of that one. So a 1-for-1 trade, but no assists on the side of the daddies there. So probably still worth. Stop the scaling there from Karthus, delay the Rod of Ages pickup if that's the build that he's going for. It looks like Galio is going for the Rod of Ages. He's picked himself up a blasting one, so definitely not sure I'd agree with that. Going into a team that essentially has 2.5 AP damage threats. Seems a little bit selfish to go for a build like that, but another stun onto Snowblind in the bottom lane. Actually gonna have the zap blocked by a minion that just shows up at the opportune time. Keeps him alive off the back of that one, but he does have himself about a 20 minion kill deficit. That's gonna go into about 800 gold down as Engage gonna come in on the side of the top lane. Cancelled out by the Scion ultimate, but in the bottom lane, a tower dive from Sejuani. Karthusult gonna pick up a kill off the back of that one, but the stopwatch on the Braum enough to secure the kill on the Varus under the tower there. The Jinx with the Super Mega Death Rocket. That's gonna come up into a 2-for-1 in the bottom side, forcing out the cross-map cooldown there from Karthus. So a good use of that, just to get a little of that pressure off the bottom side, but not enough to turn it around, and it looks like Jinx is going to pick up the first tower in the bottom lane, so that opens up that gold lead to almost 2,000.
So it's
early in the game,
3,000.
not even 10 minutes. I was talking specifically on Jinx
Oh,
over
so
Snowblind.
Jinx is a 2,000 gold lead. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, so 2/3 of the gold lead of the entire team is in this bottom lane.
And that's on a Jinx. That is exactly what you want. That late game team fighting ADC, which once she gets excited can just run around the map, just killing the entire team.
There's a huge tank presence on this team, and Jinx is only the only real consistent damage threat. So getting her ahead
is the win condition.
Sketchy at this point in the game. So, Kieran, what was going through your head at this point as you take a look at their lineup? Take a look at the Jinx, who has this big early game lead. What was the plan to get yourselves back in the game?
Well, to start off, from the beginning of the game, we kind of knew that we had to kind of get the Jinx to be shut down. However, they applied so much pressure into bot lane so early that it was relatively difficult to do that. So essentially at this point, the idea is I've got to kind of build as tanky as possible, me personally, and try and get her out of the fight for as long as possible.
Scion in the bot lane, bullying the Varus as the lane swap comes through, trying to take that tower down in the top lane. And looks like we've got another little attempt at a dive in the bot lane from the Scion Sejuani. Galio going to show up with the hero's entrance. And it's a 3v3, 3 tanks against a Soraka and 2 carries, but the carries are so underfarmed and underfed, it's not going to be enough as Karthus gets taken down by the taunt from Galio. Snowblind trying to walk up and deal some damage on the way out, but only has a recurve bow, so really not going to find anything on these tanky frontline members. Even though that their Scion's building specifically into magic resist for laning against the Vladimir, still taking practically no damage from the Varus on the back of this one. Galio going to make his way back into the mid. Karthus teleports in.
Kieran taking a couple of shots at Braum, trying to get that passive off. Flags and drags out there. 30 CS behind on this Varus. It's not looking good for Snowblind. Snowblind has had a very rough game this game compared to last. I mean,
we've seen deficits on this side before of the daddies that they have managed to come back from, but as you mentioned, that was in the old roster where they played a lot of this scaling style, and that was really in the meta, the ardent sensor of supports, of making pretty much any AD carry just ridiculously powerful. But then again, with the Soraka pickup, that seems like the style they're going for, so still definitely a precarious situation, but not over by any means. Jinx dealing about 40 damage with those rocket shots there onto the Vladimir in top lane. That's what I love about AD carry.
yeah, I remember. I was in that game with you.
Critting a Nasus for 56 damage with an Infinity Edge. Oh boy. Rift Herald going to be picked up here from the Chef at 15 side. Actually,
Kieran goes in,
no, it is
smites
not,
it
as Kieran
away.
comes in with the Cataclysm. I guess the steal on that. Vladimir's there for the backup, drops the ultimate. Gonna force the Jinx and Braum to back away. A nice steal there
Flashes in.
from a rookie jungler on this side. Carthasol not quite enough to take down the Jinx on the back of that one, and he's actually... Wait, where did he just get that health from? Was that the Soraka ult? Out of nowhere, kept him alive. I was halfway through saying that he gets taken down, but... Anthony... See, this doesn't help my case about him not picking these lame champions.
Jarvan going in, bullying this Galio. Galio turns around, tries to smash into him.
It's a nice chunk
Takes
out,
him
but
down.
not enough cooldowns. And he did go for the Rod of Ages first. I do not like that against this team with all of the magic damage threats coming out from the side of the Daddy's Angels.
But they are showing the exceptional communication that they did show last split with that Soraka cross. Like, I mean, not that you have to aim the Soraka ult, but the timing can be very important, and the same with the Karthus ult as well. Both of those ults had to be coordinated within the team, and it's showing a lot better that sort of thing within this game.
Executed better than the other. The Karthus ult not able to pick up the kill, but the Soraka ult was there to rescue the Karthus on the back of that tower dive, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's showing promise.
Working on the communication with the new roster.
You're getting better, Kieran. Well done. Gold star.
Improvements were made.
I don't think anybody was actually expecting the Soraka ult at that point. It's just Anthony was on the ball, checking the top left, seeing where his HPs are.
Wasn't even communication, was instinct. That's what I like to hear. And as the University of Sheffield side is taking down Cloud Drake, different dragon priority as we saw than last game where we had the double Inferno and the Infernal and the Mountain Drake. Sorry, too much CS saying Inferno.
Did you guys watch the NALCS game where there was a Cloud Drake still alive at something like 64 minutes into the game because no one wanted it?
They just weren't bothered to take it.
A lot of the time, like things like that, you can think, is it really?
Scion Ultimate gonna come down in the top lane, looking for a bit of a fight back onto Vladimir. Takes about 3 or 4 turret shots on the back. Doesn't even have to use the Sanguine Pool to get out though, but Soraka ult once again burnt.
Sejuani looking to roam top to try and catch this Vladimir out.
Looking like it, but as we said, he still has the Sanguine Pool available, so she's going to back away from that one there. Will get spotted out by a ward on the blue buff as a couple of pings go down. Kieran there to clear it out. Looks like we've got a bit of a 3v2 push in the mid lane. Jinx, with the static shiv completed, going to be pushing in minion waves pretty quickly. Still just the recurve bow and Berserker Greaves on the Varus. Does have a pickaxe, but not going to have anywhere near the combat stats as the Jinx is going to have with the crit chance and the boosted magic damage from the static shiv. That's going to be the adaptive helm picked up first. A nice flash away from the glacial prison there. Glacial prison from Karthus in the middle lane. Gonna get himself out of that one. cute little dragon lance poke onto Scion, dealing about 4 damage. As the Rift Herald is going to be dropped in the top lane. That was, if you remember, picked up on a tasty little steal there from Kieran on the back of that one. A double knock-up for Scion. That's going to be another few tower shots that Vladimir's going to be forced to take as Galio's there, goes for a bit of an engage. Actually, I've never seen that Rift Herald getting shouted back by Scion. He does it again. I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know that you could do that.
I'm pretty sure you can pick the Rift Herald up with Syndra as well.
With Syndra. Disgusting broken champions. Please, please nerf. It looks like we're going to have movements to try and defend this top lane outer turret here from the Daddy's side. The Demolish charge starting to charge up for the Scion, but not going to get anywhere further than that as Snowblind getting 1v1'd out by Sejuani here, still dealing no damage. This time does commit the barrier, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Actually, Sejuani gets taken down really low there. I don't know how he turned that one around. She started off at like full health, but thanks Directed Camera for putting us on a Soraka, pressing W on some people and missing out on most of that fight, but gonna be disengaged. Summoner spells burnt both of them for Snowblind on that one once again, so he's gonna be looking pretty vulnerable if they can try and find a pick onto him. But a nice turnaround, gonna force Sejuani out of the lane. Starts to push onto the bottom turret as the top lane not going to get taken down because the engage comes through, and that's going to be Jinx deleted by the Cataclysm. Comet comes down from Karthus in the mid lane as he drops the Requiem on him, but nice little gank in the bottom lane from Galio. Gonna find the vulnerable Varus.
And Jinx, that was
a bit of a consolation prize.
That was really good timing with that engage onto Jinx, because Jinx, I was looking, Jinx's flash was literally just, it came up the second as Kieran jumped in with the ultimate, her flash came up, so that was a really well-timed, well-executed. I'm not sure how close you keep track of flashes, but it shows the importance of checking these summoner spells, especially in the ADC, like University of Sheffield was doing at the start of the game with Snowblind, popped his flash, went right with this time gap to try and bully him as much as possible.
Pick up a kill on the Scion off the back of a bit of bullying in the top lane from Vladimir, but just recalling on the turret, gets himself out safely. The turret not going to be quite as safe, but Scion comes in with the charge in from the base. Not going to get there in time as the turret will go down. Goes for a bit of a drift. Sejuani's there for backup. He actually flashes forward. That's the Sanguine Pool. Not going to be able to flash out. He gets hit by the knock-up and taken down. Galio comes in inside to finish that kill off. But it's going to be traded for a turret in the mid lane as well. So 2 turrets picked up there. That's all 3 outer turrets down. Jinx going to make a return trip to the top lane and finish off what she started in the top lane. Finish off the kill on the outer turret. Another Cloud Drake spawning in about a minute's time. Baron is now live as we hit 20 minutes into the game. Only 700 gold between the 2 teams here. Not as much of a dominating performance in the top lane out of Fire Comet here, but has still built himself up about a 1,500 gold lead. Not going to be looking for any tower dives onto a Scion though.
And we can see just before the strike comes up that the bot lane, well not the bot lane, the support and the mid lane are back. In the mid lane because he doesn't have much mana, and the support getting cancelled by the cheeky ADC deciding to farm rather than letting his support go back and collect some wards. Setting up for that dragon, which is coming up in 30 seconds. Do we know what dragon it is? I can't.
It is a cloud.
It is. Oh, it's another cloud. So maybe not.
Cloud. Looks like a push into the mid lane as Kieran goes in, drops the Cataclysm on Scion, so he can't get out, and that's going to be the Hemo Plague dropped as well. He will get taken down as Braum actually gets locked up under the tower as well. Unbreakable not going to block tower shots out of that one, and that's going to be 2 nice easy kills picked up off the back of that. Going to look like to be a turn onto the Baron for that one there. Ignoring the Cloud Drake, going straight for the actual meaningful objective.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a smart decision. The Cloud Drake has that very influential, important game mechanic of out of combat speed.
Making you slightly faster as long as no one's hitting you or you're not hitting anyone else. Rift Scuttler is going to time out here, so they lose some of the vision in the Baron pit. Pink Ward going to cancel out. The ward that's dropped
comes
there.
in.
Karthus will get taken down, but he has no mana, so they just don't.
Oh, Baron was taken by Sejuani!
But they do manage to get the steal back again as the teleport comes in for Scion, but most of the team fight cleaned up there on the Daddy's Angel side, but they do lose the Baron. Scion cancels the teleport so he doesn't just donate his Baron buff over. And after a nice smite from Kieran to steal away the Rift Herald, not quite as nice one to secure the Baron there. Sejuani is able to take that one away. Kieran,
Sejuani.
how bad did you feel about yourself after that one? I want intense detail.
In comms at the time, we were talking about holding burst for around 1,500 HP, and then everyone turned and tried to fight the enemy team. So I ended up smiting it at around that HP, which left it perfect to for the enemy jungler to just walk over and smite it.
I want details. I want the saline levels.
It felt really bad.
I want the volume in millimeters and floric ounces.
Fluid
ounces, floric acid. Like, come on, I don't do science. Leave me alone.
Would you like it in moles?
Moles
of sodium chloride.
Precisely. But as the little consolation prize on the back of that, Daddy's Angels do pick up the Cloud Drake, so that evens up the out-of-combat movement speed.
Which I feel will be very important.
Get caught up a little bit by Galio. Gets himself out of the knock-up from Sion, but just look at the health bars on the side of the Sheffield team. So many tiny little lines. They're a really tanky team, and they're pushing down onto the mid lane outer turret. All outer turrets now taken down. Jinx not even involved in that one, wasn't even needed. She's gonna make her way to the top lane, picks herself up a Mortal Reminder, trying to deal with the healing from Vladimir and Soraka. So definitely a valuable pickup there for that this particular team.
We were just hearing the rhythmic thumping of the Q of Karthus. There we go, it started again. They've got to be very careful here, going straight in.
But Sejuani getting in the back, and the hero's entrance from Galio going to knock up the Karthus. That's going to land a Glacial Prison on him as well there, as Jarvan goes a little too deep, gets taken down on the backside of that one. Requiem actually going to do a lot of damage, and they're going to force the fight to move into the jungle over the Defile of Karthus, and that's going to shred the tanks down. And here comes Josh on the backside, has the Gwynsu's completed, picks himself up a double kill. Looks like Vladimir going to get himself away from the undead Sion, trying to run him down with a little bit of help from Soraka on the back of that one. So a 2-for-3 team fight in favor of Daddy's Angels on the back of that one, after what seemed like a really risky engage that was turned around by a nice combination of Sejuani and the Galio. But fighting over that Karthus dead body, having the E still activated. He's got the fully stacked Rod of Ages, he's got the Liandry's shredding through those tanks, and Snowblind on Varus had a bit of time to free farm, has the Gwynsu's available now, so he's doing some good percentage of max health damage. Nice turnaround on that fight.
Yeah, it's very good positioning by Snowblind in that fight. Sort of, he's the kind of player that once he gets the damage output, he sort of clicks and he can start doing stuff basically. But I think that's ADCs in general. If they're a bit underfarmed or if they're a bit behind, it's really hard for them as a specific role to almost have a major impact in that game. But if you looked at the team fight, the positioning and damage output was huge by Snowblind, along with a Vladimir with a very well timed. Was it a Zhonya's or was it a stopwatch? It was a Zhonya's.
He has a Zhonya's completed, yeah.
So it was a very good combination of like sort of juggling the positioning between the Jarvan and the Vladimir, and then we saw the Varus on the side dealing damage at the same time. It was solid
Jinx
team
was
fight.
forced out for most of that fight as Kieran just dives past the turret there and sort of locks her up in a little cage while she has to sort of sit in there and deal with him, so not there to dish out the damage.
I did say at the start, Kieran doesn't care.
The entire idea was if we can stop Jinx from auto-attacking, we can probably win this game. So by making the Jinx halfway across the map in auto-attacking Jarvan to death, it's kind of winning the fight because we get the amount of time to start dealing damage to all the tanks. Especially since we have Varus, who is known for being a tank buster of sorts. We can just sit there, hopefully Josh or Snowblind is able to deal enough damage to the tank so that enough of them die into slow pickup, and hopefully we can clean up the fight at the end.
Very untraditional team fight style. Very sacrificing your 4, 0, and 7 Jarvan for the greater good. Actually goes in for a bit of an engage there, but not able to find it. Does force a flash out of the Braum. Looks like Galio might get collapsed on a little bit in the bottom lane here. So you've got the whole 5 members there. Gonna get caught by the Chains of Corruption, but the Winds of War doing some good damage to Vladimir. Taking Galio to about half health. Actually comes back in with the hero's entrance on Sejuani as she finds herself in the middle of a team fight. Another Cataclysm on Jinx. She gets taken down really low, but not going to be low enough for the Requiem to finish her off. She picks up a double kill on the back of that one as Vladimir comes out of the Sanguine Pool right into a salvo of minigun bullets. And that's a 3-for-1 there in favor of the Sheffield side. So getting a bit of a minion gold lead back in their advantage. Very low health on the Jinx, so a little risky to be trying to chase down into the Varus, but not seeing that sort of season 4 or 5 Legolas build where it's all about the Q poke, so not masses of damage going to be coming through with those. Does have the Braum there with the Unbreakable to try and react if she does get a little stuck, as he did there, but that's more to block out the minion wave. As Sejuani goes for a re-engage into the tower, and he's going to get instantly deleted there from the Soul Furnace from Sion. So that's going to stagger the respawn there. He's got 35 seconds. It's 4v5 with no AD carry, and as you mentioned, big damage output from this tank-busting Varus. He's a really important member of the team to have alive if you're looking for a team fight. Looks like they're looking for a pick onto this Ocean Drake.
It's an Ocean Drake, so they actually want it.
Actually, you're going to commit the flashes in a 4v5 and take the steal again. That's the 3rd objective steal this game. Jinx is going to get run out of the fight as Vladimir goes in, but he gets stunned up, zapped, and chompered down. Uses the Zhonya's again. Going to come out straight into a Sion knockup though, so not going to get himself out of that one alive. Kieran and Vladimir sacrificing themselves and Sejuani to the Dragon Gods. A nice silence from Anthony to cancel the knockup onto the Karthus, who once again has no mana whatsoever. Gets taken down, gets some mana back. Not enough to finish off a kill though. Requiem already used.
Varus was not again
So
not
off
in
the
that
back
fight.
of that, it ends up being a 4-for-1 with an Ocean Drake picked up, and as we said, yeah, staggering the respawn on the Varus. It was a 4v5 the entire time, not there to dish out the damage.
And now that
Now he's going to be left to try and defend a tower by himself.
and with the turrets equalized, we can see how much of a gold difference there actually is at the moment. It's sitting about sort of 5,000, 5.5k meme, but 5.5k gold difference. That's an old meme. That's like a season.
That is old school. That's
season
like season 3.
No. That was going into season 5. I think because it was.
I was way off.
I think, but yeah, old meme right there. But we're seeing a fight going on.
A bush full of tanks, closely followed by Snowblind on Varus. Gets taken down for his 7th death of the game. That's 1/3 of his team's total deaths. Sejuani gonna jump over the wall, find a Vladimir. He gets a blue buff sort of yelled at him. That was actually picked up there by Karthus, so we've seen him go out of mana a few times in these team fights, so fairly useful for him to be picking that one up off the back of that. Did get taken down to about 48 health, so...
And it's the same position as the last fight. Varus is down.
Yeah, another one where it's 4v5. Vladimir taken down quickly. Jinx just doing her job of auto-attacking the Jarvan on the backside of that one. Takes a long time to die, but does eventually go down. Everyone from the Sheffield side still alive. 3 dead on the side of the Daddies, and that's going to be a Baron picked up there.
Kieran.
Soraka and Varus.
Kieran, the gold lead at the moment is 7k. They're about to take Baron. What do you do at this point? What are you thinking? Because at the moment it looks like the game could well be over at this point.
If I could commit a thought and say stop face checking bushes with 4 tanks in them, that would be useful. Yeah.
What's the plan at this
approach
point?
things as we just essentially have to wait until everyone is respawned and approach every single scenario as a team. Because with a full team, as we've seen, we've been able to win fights pretty well. But on the problem of every time, like you said, we're face checking bushes, somebody's getting caught, and then we've got staggered respawns, and which is a really big deal because there's been quite a few fights now where Jinx has like lived on around 200 HP. Like one character, a single character with a single ability extra could just be the pushing point which just kills
For
Jinx at that
example,
point.
a Varus with an auto attack or two.
Yep.
If he was not in base looking at a grey screen. So maybe it's kind of difficult, as we say, all the tanks are on the Sheffield side, so not really anyone there to face check a bush safely. Anyone could quite easily be picked up and bursted down. Maybe Vladimir would be able to get himself out of there, but still incredibly risky to go for any sort of blind pushes into the jungle.
And I'd like to say, with the 2 TPs, I would really have liked to see University of Sheffield do a 1-3-1 split. At the moment, with the 2 TPs, they could just push straight in, but
right for the taking. But it looks like Sejuani's just going to drop the Glacial Prison onto Karthus. Not going to be able to take him out though.
But
on the
Varus,
one as Sejuani almost
Varus
gonna get taken out by
reverses
Varus,
it.
will go down, but the Cataclysm locking them up under the tower. It looks like Braum will get out on a very low sliver of health, but Vladimir on the back line of this one going to be reconnected with the rest of the team as they try and pick up the Scion. Galio gonna take down Soraka somehow as she flashes out of the way of something and dies.
As Kieran said, if they grouped as a 5 and treated any scenario as a team, they could well win the fight. And Sheffield had the Baron buff. They're ahead in gold. They did not need to force a fight right there. If that ult missed and it didn't land on Varus, ditch it, back off, reset, and push with Baron. Try and take some of these turrets, because at the moment, objective-wise, Salford is winning. That should not have happened in a Baron play.
How did Braum end up there? I'm
But
quite confused. He
Braum-
sort of recalled in the mid-side bush.
Braum went down and up through river. Like, yeah. So it's a sort of a classic mistake. You get things which are that far ahead, and they take Baron like, right, let's end game. Run it down mid. And they sort of go in, they commit to the call, which is really good, but it's knowing when to back off the call and just reset the fight. They've got the advantage. They don't need to push it like that in that way, and they fell straight into Salford's hands.
The last outer turrets, or inner turrets, I suppose we should say, on the side of the Daddies were in top and in mid, so could have sent a Scion or even the Galio up there, who has the cross-map Heroes entrance as well to get involved in fights, to push that one down, maybe force a rotation out of maybe the Vladimir would be able to come and deal with him, but not going to be the case, and they do overcommit to the dive. Nice kiting from Josh to get himself out alive on the back of that one, as the second Ocean Drake of the game will be picked up. No steal this time from Kieran with the magic fingers. So that's going to even up the dragons on both sides. 1 Cloud, 1 Ocean each.
And the next Drake is
one,
Elder.
Elder Drake. We are 35 minutes into the game. My hamster's standing up in her cage staring at me. It's a really exciting one.
Yeah. Even hamster knows. What's your hamster's name?
My hamster's name is Coco.
Coco.
We made a giant cage out of an IKEA glass bookcase. It looks really cool. She keeps trying to get out of it though.
I think I saw some Reddit of an iguana cage.
Yeah, something similar. But yeah, she does try and keep trying to worm her way out of that like a Jinx trapped in a cataclysm or something. Pretty annoying.
Good segue as we see Salford trying to clear the vision round the Baron. It's going to be one of the 2 objectives which really turns around the fight. For your team comp, Kieran, what do you want to go for? It looks like you want to go for Baron, but which one do you prioritize?
Well, Baron won't be up for another few minutes as it was just taken, but the top inner tower will be going down without much of an answer.
At that point, the entire enemy team had shown that a few of them had recalled and a couple of them were in mid. So taking that top tower was absolutely free. Essentially, we want to be forcing a fight around Baron now as a 5-man because we know we can win the fights.
140 left on the Baron respawn timer, so gonna go back, just refresh the ward count on everyone, maybe pick up a control ward if you've got space, or if you're a jungler, pick up a chain vest instead. Kieran.
Extra tank stats.
Some of that vision control. So it looks like that's going to give Sheffield a bit of a chance to get in and get some vision of their own down around the Baron. Not going to commit too much to it, as they do have to fall back and deal with the super minions pushing up the mid. So it's going to be difficult. One of the main things that you see a lot of problems in pro teams with is controlling the mid wave when you're going for this Baron dance, and having the super minions already there is going to be hugely favorable for the Daddy's Angels side. Just going to constantly have to send someone back to deal with the pressure of those minions just passively pushing into the base.
And we're seeing University of Sheffield start to maneuver, clearing out the vision. Really, while talking about vision,
we have a dangerous situation. There's just 3 members of the Daddy's side who are about a mile away from the closest turret, but not going to go for any commits onto an engage on that.
Yeah, added in the recent patch was the addition of the ward or vision score. It's really interesting to look at the numbers and who's placing the most wards. Like mid lane for University of Sheffield is placing a lot of wards, a lot of vision. We see Galio flash over the wall.
Over the wall. There's the Soraka going to get caught out, as we mentioned, making her way through her own jungle on the blue buff side. Took a risky path, gets punished for it. That's a 4v5 for 45 seconds. Sion actually going to commit the ultimate to try and get out, but gets caught up by a flag and drag. But the hero's entrance in a small, little tight area. Cataclysm again locking Jinx out of the back of the fight. And that's going to be Sion getting taken down there. We've got such a disconnect in this fight as Sejuani and Galio taken down from the kiting from the Vladimir and Varus. Jinx on about 40 health. Not going to be enough to get herself out of there, as Vladimir is going to be chasing down onto that one there. He does have the ghost committed, not going to be able to commit the flash for it. Looks like they're going to get themselves out alive, but definitely a costly fight there. A 3-for-1 in the 4v5 fight. After finding a nice pick off onto the Soraka, just a hugely disconnected fight. Again, Kieran mentioned before about the strategy of keeping Jinx locked out of the team fights. Manages to do that. Sejuani and Sion and Galio just stuck on their own in a team full of damage dealers. Not able to finish off the fight, get taken down. That will be Baron picked up there for the Daddy's Angels side. No opportunity for a 4th objective steal this game.
There's been a lot of stealing this game, a lot of pilching.
Not a single kleptomancy in the game, but all the stealing in the world.
Yeah, when there's no kleptomancy, don't pilch with kleptomancy. Pilch the enemy's objectives. That's the way to go. You can always find a way to get kleptomancy back into the game.
I think we should take a moment just to give some recognition to the Flame Horizon in the bottom lane. Deckard Bane on the Jinx with 420, 423 now to the 303 minions of Snowblind on Varus. Good performance from the Jinx. We said it would have to be in these fights, with her practically being the only damage dealer, but having a lot of trouble dealing with being locked up by the Jarvan Mr. Kieran himself in the backside of these fights. It looks like a 3-man knockup from the Sion gonna land. That's a whole lot of damage that just came down out of nowhere. Redemption dropped. Cataclysm again locking the Jinx up in the...
But Daddy's Angels are starting to turn the fight.
Plague manages to land onto that one, and that's going to be 3 quick kills picked up from there. Sion gets killed again off the back of that one. Cataclysm locking Jinx in, the Hemo Plague, and all the damage just coming through is going to be enough to take her down.
They have the minions, they can end.
And the Sion, no Karthus and no Jarvan, but they still have the Vladimir and Varus available. Only Sejuani and the support Braum left alive.
Not enough
really
wave
difficult
clear
to try and defend this, as you managed to say. Yeah, no AoE ability to clear the wave. Sejuani going to get taken down really low. Soraka keeping herself alive to just pump out those heals and shields onto the 2 of them, as Braum just makes his way back to the fountain. that will be the game picked up, even with a gold deficit as they destroy the Nexus.
Is these those extended fights just suit the Vladimir, and because the calves can die and still like keep going damage, and then Fire Comet on the Vladimir can do the same thing as well. That's really well played fight. In fact, both games we've watched today, the beginning of the fight, the first half looks awful for Daddy's Angels. It's always like, oh, they've lost it, that's it, and then somehow with really excellent positioning, especially by Snowblind. Got to give props to him, especially a lot more in this game than last game. But the positioning, very good to actually get that damage out in team fights and turn it around.
Is a little bit almost deceptive at the start of these fights, as you see the scoreboard light up red in the kill feed of Jinx getting these kills, but it's on the Jarvan and the Karthus, the two members who practically their whole job is to get in the back lines and die as the damage dealers of the Vladimir and Varus keep themselves alive. So the first two kills in the fight almost always went over to the side of Sheffield, but from the back of those, it just turned around. Daddy's Angels, Josh found the positioning again and again in the fights. Nice hemo plagues, as you said, amplifying the damage. So it's just a nice display of team fighting from the Daddies. We knew it was one of their strengths. Seems like with the new pickup in the top lane and Fire Comet, they can still play to that style as well as their more individual carry-oriented style, which is a good sign.
And Kieran, that game was very close in places. What do you take from that? How do you learn? What were the lessons from that game, and how are you going to take that forward next week into next week's games? Like,
probably the main thing to take away from that game is don't check bushes that aren't warded.
Don't.
Yeah, you hear that, Josh? I know you're listening because you're talking crap about me saying you got trashed in lane in CS.
And I've also got
Stop
outward
hasting.
information telling me to let you know, Rusty, when you need to stop calling our support a beta.
Hey, I've been saying this since the first tournament. I will stop when I see a brand, when I see a Blitzcrank, when I see a Vel'Koz support. That's what I want to see.
But we need Anthony to be our hero, and that's what he is.
Anthony.
You know that video of is it Kanye and Kim Kardashian on the bike? I kind of just imagine like Josh and Anthony on a bike with like their hair blowing and maybe their champions in the background. I don't know. I feel that there's that kind of bromance sort of going on.
I feel like that image would have been better if I had seen the image you were talking about.
It is memed for a small period because it was a really stupid, weird music video to say the least.
Does that make you a meme?
Who a meme?
Nothing.
Okay. Something I want to know about, I was talking about earlier, was the wards, the vision score, and if you look at how much of an impact vision-wise, Kieran, you had, especially compared to Jungler, you've almost got double his vision score. You got more than the support. In fact,
both supports.
more than both supports.
You were trying to tell me to pick up a pink ward. Hell no.
So it seems that the compared to let's compare it to Sheffield, the ADC and mid lane and slightly the top lane aren't warding as much, and it does that mean, are you aware of this? So you're trying to actively make up for that lack of vision from their roles, etc., or is this just your style in jungle?
At the moment, I think it's extremely important to be able to track your opponent's jungle at all times, especially when we're playing in comps where we're expecting that our ADC has to survive. If you can keep track of where the jungler is, you know when he has to play safe, or whether or not he has to, start shoving lanes out. And it's always really good to have this vision just so that you can pressure objectives a lot more easily. It's a very controlled way of playing the game. You can save yourself a lot of gold by not buying any, but you're putting yourself into a lot of pressure because of not knowing where any of the enemy teams are.
Mm. I'll tell you what, Kieran. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because as I go onto the Twitch page for the stream that we're on, at the moment. I have it paused, and at the time it was paused, you have a pink ward in your inventory, so I'll let you off.
Okay. Alright.
You have
I had
Rust.
I had 111 ward score at the end of that game as well, which is
Just
insane.
a
I've never seen that before.
phenomenal performance.
Kieran
Absolutely
outperformed himself. That's how
Yeah.
that's how high Kieran performed in that game.
When he was at top lane, he never even reached double digits, so turn around.
Have you got access to show everyone the damage graph for the last game?
No, we
I think the only way you could do it is if you went onto
if you can
your
screen
profile and match history.
screenshot it for us and send it our way, and then I'll put it on stream.
If I try and open the league client, it says we're unable to log you in because you may be offline.
And yeah, I've got to say Sheffield played very well, but I do think it was that Baron play, trying to force a team fight when you've got Baron, you've got the gold lead, was just a huge mistake. You don't need to do that. Play the macro game. Don't try and team fight a team which has already beaten you in 5v5 team fights. It felt like a bit of a overconfidence by the Sheffield, and I'm not saying that Daddy's Angels won just because of a mistake. You need to be good enough to notice a mistake and capitalize on it. So very good. Props. There we go. Props to University of Salford for finding that edge to come back in the game. It's all well and good people making mistakes, but if you don't capitalize on them, then it makes no difference and has no effect in the game. So that was a very good call. That team fight was very good. Josh's Snowblind's, I keep saying Josh, Snowblind's positioning was very good in that fight. That's something I highlighted quite a lot in that game. And we had the Soraka special. But we did see some very good silences come out by...
Bit of solace now, Anthony.
Yeah. Do you want to give some praise to Anthony?
You know what?
He was a hero mashing the W key.
I'll tell you what, it tickles me the wrong way, because as much as I would love to see Anthony play something a little more aggressive, so we might see him actually be able to carry Josh's garbage ass through the laning phase once in a while. It's annoying because when he plays the Namis, the Sorakas, he does it so well. And later on in the team fights, he's such like a instrumental part of the team fight victories, keeping Josh's out of position ass alive over and over again. So
how about if I told you in that last game that the Soraka dealt more damage than Braum? I'd call that carrying.
I would sort of nod and say yes.
Let's
range supports into melee supports, that happens. However, Braum has more damaging abilities, as is the purpose of two of his abilities and his passive.
There's the damage graph for you people at home. Stroof, that damage. That is a ton of damage. Varison Karthus with the 1-2, sitting just under 50k damage. But Galio leading the way. I would personally, I did not think it was Galio. I would have said it was. I would have been Varus or Jinx. I'm very surprised it's a Varus taking the second and third spot. Well, Galio does the most damage. Soraka doing slightly. Come on, that's basically the same damage. You can't like.
That's a whole 500 more damage.
Stroof, that's like
To be fair, that's probably about 70 auto attacks for Soraka. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But the Galio damage, it all comes down to the fact that early on in the game he had the choice: Rod of Ages or the Abyssal Mask. He chose to go for the damage, but lost the game because of it, and that's what I'm sticking with.
That's what you're sticking with. That was the one decision,
lost him the entire game.
That one thing. Anyway, we would do the third game, but Rusty will get killed.
I had my own very sort of bit of silence now, please moment as Jess came in halfway through the first game.
Bit of silence now, please, Rusty.
Yeah, she's trying to get to sleep. She has to be up in about 8 hours for work, so
So
Unfortunately, real life calls.
on that note, but going from the Nuel games, Daddy's Angels went 3-0 that week. We might cast the last game at some point this week, maybe, or some of the other teams' games. We did have some other teams do well, so we want to, promote some of our other players, definitely, as well as Counter-Strike team. Our Counter-Strike team, I will be getting the VODs. I've promised them I will cast it because those guys are fantastic, better than the league team.
I'm more
and
fantastic than everybody else.
Absolutely stunningly handsome Counter-Strike
yeah,
players as
like
well. We have.
so
We should also
Vanquish.
mention
Vanquish.
Gorgeous
We-
specimen nails.
We have King, who dropped a 42 bomb, huge kill value. Then again, he is an incarnation of Guardian, so what can you expect? That's only going to mean anything to CS people, and I'm talking on a league stream, but still. So we've got lots of good stuff coming, and podcast should be tomorrow. So just to clarify, we've got probably more league, CS games, and podcast this week, along with the chill stream. So please stay tuned. Also, shout out to Dankchester Duckies, who played at the Manchester Invitationals, going 3-0 as well. Got to support our Manchester brethren, he says in a very southern accent.
Come on, bruv.
Bruv, yeah, mate. So yeah, on that note, well done the teams, well done our teams especially, well done the other Manchester teams, and is there anything you'd like to? Thank you, Kieran, as well.
Yeah, you better.
We
Silence now, Morgan.
Yeah, thanks, Kieran, for letting us interrupt your Slay the Spire marathon.
Yeah.
As much as I'm sure you'd love to get back to that game now,
And
you joined in so we could pick apart your garbage new play.
And I hope the audience at home enjoyed his UoS insight as much as we did. That was a little plug for the podcast. It's because it's called UoS Insight. Yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Rusty, for joining me on the cast as well. Always a
very
pleasure.
For Josh for not actually just kicking me out of the society for flaming him so much.
Yep. See, I think we balanced out because I think I complimented him too much, but you might have flamed him too much. So I think we balanced it out in the middle ground of the perfect amount to flame Josh. I think we can work on it for next time.
Yeah, we'll work on it. I'm sure there's a specific formula that we can get it just perfectly right. Big thanks to the NUEL as well for putting the tournaments together, getting all these games in place. Obviously, students can be very difficult to organize, so a lot of work goes into these tournaments. Makes for some exciting games and some absolute clown fiestas.
And
big shout out to Twitch as well, as we are totally sponsored by Twitch Prime. And working on that partnership, boys.
And King of the North. Just I know this is a very, very long outro, but King of the North, check it out. Get your tickets. Come down. It's in Media City. I think it might be.
Yeah, online qualifier is going to be
free
this weekend and next weekend.
Yep.
It's going to be League of Legends, Counter-Strike, and Overwatch. So
yep.
They're going to be casted on the UOM esports channel. Might possibly have a couple of other sort of B-stream games over here on this channel. But the main finals is going to be in March. That's going to be a big live event.
17th to 18th. Be there or be bad.
Yeah, make sure you get your tickets if you're around in the area to come to the live event. If not, you can probably tune in online. We'll catch you there.
Okay, and on that note, I think we'll end it there. Thank you once again, Kieran. Thank you, Rusty. Thank you guys at home. And we'll see you in the next episode.